copy, you can go to my website at rebuildingtheman.com or call 800-411-BOND. You can't run from evil within yourself or outside of self. You got to deal with it. And you need good in order to deal with evil. And God is good. You need to return to the Father. And you'll see within you, he will fight the battle for you. And he will fight it without, because he will show you how to deal with it. And you will have no fear. Love God with all your heart, all your soul, all your might, along with nothing else. Nothing else means yourself, your children, your wife, your things, your ego, your reputation, and all that. You can't care about any of that. The children of anger will use it to control you. But if you love God, he will renew your mind, and none of those things will be before him. And so when they go after you, oh, well, you may take my body, you may take my things, but you're not going to take my soul. And that's a true reality. I noticed after a while that when these guys overcome their anger, they have amazing ideas about starting a business, but because they've been told that if you don't get a loan from the bank, or if you don't have a 5-year plan, or if you don't do this, and it's just simply not true. It's the first step. With faith, then all things are possible. So, but the most important thing is to return to the Father. That yearning that you have, that emptiness, that void, is not for more stuff. It's not for more friends. It is a return to the Father, because there's no way you can return to God and be angry at your earthly father. So thank you all so much, right? People around the world donated to Bond at rebuildingtheman.com, or they call 800-411-2663, and we're still committed to pointing the right way for men and women to return to the Father. Isn't Nick a Mexican?
Colombian.
He calls himself American.
What is this?
Anchor Baby.
And in this corner, it's the American Anchor Baby.
Daddy's home.
That's an offensive term. People find that hurtful.
You mean it's not politically correct? Excuse me. I'll use the word anchor baby. You know, he's an anchor baby in Canada.
Tell him we still rolling with Trump, too.
Anchor baby, the whole thing sounds horrific. You're just making it sound like immigrants are these horrific, greedy people.
Ustedes pueden aceptar mi negocio o aceptar las consecuencias. Plata o plomo.
So you would be considered white, in my opinion.
You the blackest one in this room,
I think so.
And what happened was his mama got pregnant on the other side of the border, and then a few hours before, just before it was time for him to pop out, she jumped across the border and let him fall on American soil. So he became the anchor baby. You don't call him the anchor baby for nothing. Amazing.
We like this anchor baby, right?
Hello, I'm the American Anchor Baby, and this is my show. Thank you for tuning in on this fine Thursday. What a fine Thursday it is to have you back, because I got a bit of a show for you today. Should be a nice show. I mean, some controversial things coming up, some conversations within the right wing maybe. And I knew it would be a little bit. I saw the Antifa stuff come down and the CNNs and stuff saying, well, this is not very free speech. This is a little going after political enemies, etc. You may have heard, there's something about Kimmel. Jimmy Kimmel, he's got his show, and now he doesn't. It's indefinite. He said something about Charlie Kirk. People saying stuff about Charlie Kirk, we're seeing them online receive some punishment over it, losing a job, something like that. Nothing physical. I haven't seen anything physical like that. Besides them at a protest, right, or at a vigil, a Christian vigil, confronted with someone against Charlie. Then they forgot about Jesus really fast. But you're seeing some of this online. You heard about Jimmy Kimmel. I'm seeing the conservatives coming out, and they're saying they're just I don't know. This doesn't look good. They're perturbed by the idea of going after people. It could be used against them. It's all interesting things. I mean, these are questions going around, and I have some thoughts on it. I mean, I'd like to hear what you guys think and all that. We'll get to all that. Kimmel, the banks, they're changing tunes. What's going on here? Is this authoritarianism? Well, I'll let you decide, but I'll describe how I see things, and Trump and he really does follow the rules he follows the rules until I want to say until he can't, but I've never seen him break the law. He's just been aggressive and creative, kind of like in his business life. And people hate business people for that, right? Oh, they don't pay enough taxes. They get around the rules. They're too smart. They get around, they amass wealth. Some of the things I'm thinking about, we'll get into all that. Erica Kirk becomes CEO. Jesse Lee Peterson called it. Inserting herself in a leadership role before the funeral, before the body's... Okay, the body's cold maybe, but whatever. I don't know. Look, you know the expression, right? Before the body's even cold, man. They adorn his name, and it's all sick to me. Maybe I'm characterizing it a little, but JLP called it right away, and they're saying that he would have won it and all that, and I can believe that. I can believe such a thing. I don't know if Hake already said this too, but I can believe such a thing, and that I don't know if he expected this. He's like, yeah, honey, you can have the reins. I mean, should I not be around? I mean, which is not going to happen, right? Right, honey? Well, anyways, I can believe it. That's just whatever. We'll get into some of the details, all that, some of the random news and other things we can get into on this fine Thursday. All my lovely viewers, how you doing, everybody? Welcome to the show. All my viewers on rumble.com/American Anchor Baby, punchy.tv/Anchor Baby. How you doing? Latter-day Nights slots in the chat, enjoying themselves. All my viewers on punchy.tv/Anchor Baby. My viewers here on Rumble, welcome. Very nice. So welcome. What can I say? 88, that's what I want to say. You know the number. We got to tell you the number. If you want to call in, you got something on your mind, something you want to talk about, that's 888-775-3773. Something on your mind, something you want to get off your chest. Something you want to discuss here. We'll get into some of the news. Yeah, we'll get into all that. I do want to talk about something briefly here. Because I noticed, I do want to, I guess, start off here briefly with this. Let me pull it all up. Let's see where we are. Because I follow, look, a number of you and some of my callers are interested in some of this this reporting, some of this reporting that's come about surrounding Charlie Kirk and people around him, people he's affiliated with. And some of you have heard some reporting on that, and it nuked your brain. It was not for you. It like went over your head. You thought the person was saying this or that, and you went nuts. But some of this reporting surrounding Charlie Kirk, and this alleged meeting between him and Bill Ackman and some related figures. Okay, essentially the story goes. The allegations in the story comes as such, and it's colored in this particular way. That there was some that basically about a month before this assassination and all that, Bill Ackman, and who I gather he's like this connected investor guy into politics and all that, had a meeting in the Hamptons with conservative influencers and pro-Israel donors and activists to discuss various issues, including Israel and whatever. And the allegation is that he was confronted in a very aggressive way. Words like blackmail were used in this reporting, expressing this moment where he was pressured, all to add to some story that he's basically on the cusp of turning on Israel, and so they had to take him out. None of that is explicitly stated, but it's all implied by who. You've heard some of that. The only reason I'm talking about it is my callers calling in, some of you. Candace Owens and this Max Blumenthal fellow. Some of you have heard this reporting, and it nuked your brains. And you're calling in, and you're like, no, dude, Fuentes said it. And it caused me to, like, see some of this, and yeah, he didn't say what you think he said. So anyways, silliness, total silliness. Monstrous lies. Where was I going with this? I guess that's a clip of Netanyahu saying it's a monstrous lie. It is, though. Why did I save this? Look, is it going to play even? Oh, this used to be a clip. The Independent. Calling it a monstrous lie. Look, it's just silly. Okay, so we'll leave it at that. Some of this, I've become somewhat familiar with some of this reporting. It's not what you think it is. These people are, I personally don't see them as very credible. Very silly. So where was I about this, though? Kirk, Israel, I guess. Oh, yeah. So apologies. Let me just finish this up. So it was that meeting. That's all comes from this gray zone. It's called the gray zone. And this Max Blumenthal fellow wrote this piece in there. Now, since then, this Bill Ackman, of course, has denied this, has come out with details, deep details of the meeting, how it came together, texts and all that, private messaging, showing nothing of what these people were saying, and then these people didn't deny any of that either when presented with this. They have not denied Ackman's telling of it. So look, I'll leave it at that, I guess. What else can I say? So yeah, I'll leave it at that. By the way, so I was totally right, by the way, to be tough on this information, you know? I was totally right to be tough on my callers about this information. Because, you know, they're repeating pretty uncredible, people that are not very credible. What a mess. Because of time. Thank you, modern gentlemen. Thank you. I agree, Kevin Howe. It was reasonable. So anyways. Thank you for that. Okay, I'm seeing all of you in the chat. We'll get to everybody, the super chats, the callers, 888-775-3773. I wanted to get into some of this stuff. Okay, so Kimmel. It's pretty interesting. It's bringing up some conversations, right? Going after people's speech. You should be able to speak freely. That's Trump. He's super into that and has made multiple public points about conservatives, Christians being seen in a certain light, censored, etc., shadow ban. And this is really, if you remember, this goes back all the way, right? 2016 with Trump. Why did we even get into censorship? Why did we even get into that? A bunch of us just got into politics, to be honest. So many of us, it was our first election. For many of us, it was all over social media. I remember this. I've repeated this characterization, but I think an interesting one for history of it being an election in a time when pretty much the first time around, everybody kind of had phones. the internet was a little bit more niche, but that was your parents are on it. And so right with that, censorship, conservative censorship, bias, and all that. I mean, that's been a topic. You're definitely familiar. So, Jimmy Kimmel. I think I start this off with this article by the New York Times, because this you're familiar with what I just described, and then you get this reporting from the New York Times, and you got to understand. Right. Well, now you don't have to. I'll show you in a moment. Here, you'll see how they're trying to describe the same picture and say how terrible it is, that it's hypocritical in a sense, essentially. And I think I want to start with this article because they definitely, and I'll let you see it for yourself, a little bit of training for you. They definitely draw this line, right, from Jimmy Kimmel to Trump, but there's no executive action by Trump here. There's nothing like that is happening. In fact, I'll show you, we'll read some of this. You'll see Trump continues, as he's known to do, operate within the law. But he's effective. He's aggressive and effective where he needs to be. And that's why they hate him. That's why they got to come out with these articles. Kind of really try hard to characterize, because if the big news was that Trump did this, it's Trump's fault that Jimmy Kimmel doesn't have his show, that would be right at the beginning. But this is pretty much just like not news about Trump. This is just news about Jimmy Kimmel. But they're going to try and do this little spin. Okay, this is New York Times. Trump administration wields its full toolbox to bring media to heel. ABC's decision to indefinitely suspend Jimmy Kimmel's late-night talk show illuminates the administration's efficacy so far. So a little bit of this. Starts off here. Trump received thunderous applause during his second inaugural address, vowing to immediately stop government censorship, bring back free speech. In keeping with this free speech refrain and his long march out of political wilderness, and going against cancel culture, which he called the very definition of totalitarianism, his message had particular resonance with supporters. After all, social media companies banished him and others from their services weeks after the January 6th riots. They call it riots. Yet he is now conducting the most punishing government crackdown against major American media institutions in modern times. That might not be unfair to say, but using what seems like every tool at his disposal to eradicate reporting and commentary with which he disagrees. I think that's their opinion. ABC's decision on Wednesday to indefinitely suspend Jimmy Kimmel's late-night talk show, this is where the news starts, for comments the host made about the assassination of the conservative activist Charlie Kirk, illuminates the administration's efficacy so far. Far from decrying the silencing of a comedian, Mr. Trump celebrated what he termed a cancellation by declaring it great news for America on Truth Social. The decision comes after multi-million-dollar legal settlements from CBS and ABC and lawsuits filed by Mr. Trump that legal experts had viewed as long shots after CBS News' agreement to change the way it presents political interviews under administration pressure, and an agreement by CBS's newly merged parent company, Paramount Skydance, to appoint an ombudsman to hear complaints about its coverage. That's at first I've heard of that term, but you may have heard, you saw Trump talking with that reporter, kind of describing some of his, I think, settlement or whatever with ABC. Taken together, the attacks on all of our media institutions is certainly unprecedented in modern American history. They got some media policy, Pennsylvania guy, University of Pennsylvania guy. I can't think of any parallel. You can't think of any parallel? The media institutions going after Trump, going after conservatives, going after the very thing that Trump is talking about. I can't think of anything. It literally just happened. They're like, I got to go real far into history. I'm a professor of media policy, and I don't know. I study these things, and I can't find any parallel. The Kimmel suspension was particularly striking, Professor Picard said, because it came so quickly after the Federal Communications Commission chairman Brendan Carr, a Trump appointee, suggested in unambiguous terms that he could consider punishing the local stations that carried Mr. Kimmel's shows. Now, this is one of those aspects that has even conservatives thinking, well, I don't know, this is like, what is this? Is this democracy? Or do you got your guy, Trump, you got your guy, Brendan Trump, a Trump appointee in the FCC, you got your guy pressuring, what, free speech media? That's what I've seen some of that, and I'm willing to hear this all out. Like, I'll put it like this. I was saying this when he was talking about Antifa the other day, or I think just yesterday. I had just finished playing this clip of Pam Bondi talking about hate speech. Just I gave my take. I think just some silly a woman just kind of adopting the what you're supposed to say to the media, and she kind of repeated what she's supposed to say because what she remembers from the anti-Semitism stuff, and just like hate speech, just throw it out there, not thinking it's like, isn't this a very thing? The people that hate Charlie Kirk, why they acted the way they did, and yet when Trump was talking to that reporter, telling them, hey, when the reporter was asking about that, hey, you got your people on hate speech. I thought you were for free speech. He's like, maybe we'll go after you. People with dark hearts. You guys have, I'm paraphrasing, but dark-hearted people, essentially, who go after me. We even had a little settlement called that hate speech that you guys had to pay up for. It was wrong what you guys did, and we want it fair because we want things to be fair. They had not been fair. They haven't been fair for a long time. That's how he put it. So with this Brendan Carr thing, I see it as more of Trump acting as someone who wants to work within the system. That's how I see him. You got this Brendan Carr. I mean, if from what I gather, you got this FCC, okay, and you're allowed to appoint people. That's what you're allowed to do. And then, and it's like the person who's allowed to appoint them was picked by voters. And I don't know how else to put it. It sounds like representative government to me. Call it simple. It sounds representative to me. He's working within the laws. I mean, you've seen a number of these cultural, I don't know if it's cultural, political wins, but you've seen a number of these wins. I'm thinking of the Supreme Court. I'm thinking of, wasn't there this, the Fed, the Federal Reserve. There's a representation there too, sort of. I know they say they call it the Fed, but has nothing to do with the government. But I know I also learned, though, the government does appoint board members or whatever. So there is like I'm not saying there's no problems with the Fed. I'm just saying there is the checks and balances are there. And here we have the president seemingly working within them. And so that's how I see that. It's like, when I see it like that, I think about some of my callers and people I talk to. You should really be thankful you got somebody like this because you guys we want a lot of these things to change about culture, about censorship. I think many aware of this conversation know that happens through individuals and how they see the world. And yeah, there are laws that should protect, but it's not. You still have to deal with the fact that your neighbors could be a business owner who just who wants to act this way that's biased. And so it becomes a bit of a big issue, a big quandary for voters, conservatives, pundits on how to change society then. How do we stop this, etc.? And here you have a guy using the system, being aggressive to the point where they hate him for it. They want to say he's authoritarian, all this. Making sure the representation happens, appointing all these judges, the justice. Remember all that work he's done with all that? Can more be done? Should more be done? Is it like really late for so much more that should have been done yesterday? Sure. But I'm just saying, like, I'm thankful for that. So that's kind of a little bit on Kimmel. I think some more on this. I want to get to calls. I mean, there's actually plenty more on this. Just kind of give you my thoughts. That was the FCC. That's kind of the point on the FCC chair being a Trump appointee and that whole thing. So, the article continues a bit and describing, really just painting this picture of, hey, that's not so very free speech, Mr. President. But really there is no news in this article about the president doing anything about Jimmy Kimmel. Just saying it was great. He just thought it was great, apparently, at Truth Social. And then the FCC guy saying, hey, Mr. Kimmel's words, he said, he might get in trouble over that. Now I'm paraphrasing. I don't know how exactly Brendan Carr put it, but it was essentially something like that. It was some characterization of, companies maybe being liable. ABC being liable for, in some way, over Jimmy Kimmel's remarks. And so what did he say? What did he say? What did he say about Charlie Kirk and all that? And we'll get to calls, 888-775-3773. Let me see here. What did he even say, right? Washington Post provides the footage. We shall watch that together.
We hit some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them and doing everything they can to score political points from it.
It's short. That's all it was. The MAGA gang, when you really think about it, examine it, there's something so terrible. There's something about the lie he says there. And just so easily, so happily, after enough information has come out, in no way is any reasonable person who's just been paying it, right? They've seen the news. They could be just an average person. They know the characteristics by now. They know the red hats and, I don't know, being conservative and American flags and, not trans stuff, not being outright a lover, living with a lover, etc. They know this. So there's something pretty nasty about it, but it's said so easily, right? On this TV, on TV. There's something really wrong about that. I had some articles here. I think which article was it? It was a good one because it may have even been the one we were reading because I think in this very one, let me see, Groypers. They mention some of these mainstream articles themselves were shouting out the Groypers saying, hey, you guys they're saying that about you. It's not true. Where did I put that? Oh, it was in that's why I saved this Netanyahu thing from earlier. Netanyahu forced to deny Israel was behind Charlie Kirk assassination after monstrous lie. And this The Independent, this article goes on. It reads a little bit here. Netanyahu has dismissed online claims that Israel was in some way linked to Kirk's murder as a monstrous big lie. Kirk was shot dead at Utah Valley University on the 10th of September. Ever since, liberals and conservatives across the U.S. have pointed to blame at each other with accusations over who's responsible. This has led to baseless conspiracy theories, including claims that Israeli Foreign Intelligence Service Mossad, a MAGA loyalist, or a member of the ultra-right-wing Christian white nationalist Groypers were behind the murder. Well, right on, The Independent. They're saying those baseless conspiracies. That's what they're saying, right? They're saying those are baseless conspiracies. So thank you. What is The Independent mainstream media? Thank you, mainstream media. Kimmel's crazy, right? Right? Independent. Yeah, we can at least agree on this. That's insane that he said that. Absolute baseless conspiracy. And if I was his boss, I don't know. I wouldn't. No, it's not. It makes sense. Okay, folks. It makes sense. So wielding the system. Where do I want to go with this? I want to get to my calls, but I know that this one's controversial because it's well, should you wield, I don't know, I guess government power or institutional power in any way. Now, again, I haven't seen institutional power here besides Jimmy Kimmel receiving this from ABC. Now, it could be said, maybe, some are characterizing it as such, that with enough pressure from the current administration, then now you can make a case of institutional pressure and all that. But I say, what about like I don't think that's enough. What about the enduring anti-Trump stuff? Think about it. There's another element here. It's the public. So if ABC's seeing anything, it's also the public. If they're just gonna try and please the public, I call it fair. And yeah, so I don't really have thoughts on using political power or institutional power against your political enemies. I really don't know. But I know that I trust, for example, men in charge. This is why, and then right after this calls, maybe more Kimmel after, and then we got other stuff. I'm just going on a little bit, so I want to get to calls. But the men in charge running things, right, with the right spirit like Trump, I think to myself, it's fine. Like, think about it, him going after Antifa, right? And anybody saying he's wrong for that. And him saying that to that reporter about hate speech, saying, when I saw him do that, I know that I saw a man who knew who he was talking to. You think this person cares about free speech? This person was just trying to attack Trump. You think for a second he's going to go on camera and say, yeah, this Pam Bondi, she should have said that. It's crazy. No, it's strength against these enemies. And so there's a lot of people with darker motives. They'll call in and ask me, Nick, but it's not a left or right thing. It's like, of course it's not, but it's do you believe anger is evil? That's what caused it. So anyways, I want to get to callers. Okay, 888-775-3773. Jimmy Kimmel. You think he should have been fired, Bill? I know you may be busy. You hear about Jimmy Kimmel in his show. He said about Charlie Kirk, he's like, these MAGA people are trying to make it seem like it wasn't one of them. And now he has no show. Bill's yucking it up. Call it Schadenfreude. The German word for laughter at others' misery. All right, I got Carlos out of Miami. I want to get to you. I want to get to all this. We got more stuff. Look at all this. All right, let's get to Carlos, Miami, Florida. How you doing, sir? You're on the air.
Hey, what's up, Anchor Baby?
What's up, Carlos?
How are you? Sorry, I hear the commercial in my ears.
Oh, you hear a commercial?
Yeah. Jesse, Alpha Energy.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Bill, can you stop playing, you see Hyperdeck 2? Can you pause it right now? Apparently my caller can hear Hyperdeck 2 playing right now, but I cannot. Really? Yeah, he's hearing that right now. Jesse. Sorry
Alpha
about that.
Male?
The Alpha cigar stuff.
I love that commercial, by the way.
Yeah, he's Jesse smoking a cigar. It disturbs some of our more sensitive viewers.
So so I called you just because I love you guys. I'm a avid listener of both you, JLP, Hank, all the people. I love
shout
it.
out. Thank you for that.
I just have a little testimony. I've been listening to you guys for the last 5 years. I owe my overcoming of my anger to Jesse. I owe the saving of my marriage to Jesse. My wife was controlling me. My wife was making me miserable. She, unfortunately, me refusing to be controlled by her has led to her wanting to leave. And I told her, there's the door right there. If you want to leave, go ahead. And she left today.
Oh, that was today.
Yep. It happened yesterday. She was all upset about things that I'm doing that she wants me to stop doing, that are, she wants to control me. She wants me to be She wants to be my mother. She thinks she can control her husband. I told her, look, I'm a provider. I take care of the house. I take care of you. I take care of our kids. And you don't have the right to tell me what to do. I'm going to do what I want to do. And she doesn't accept that. And she says, okay, you're going to stop doing this or you're going to leave, or I'm going to leave. And I said, there's the door. Go on. Thanks to Jesse, I felt nothing about it when she left.
Fascinating. Carlos, is this the saved marriage? Help me understand.
Yeah, well, we would have been divorced long ago because, I was a beta and I was allowing her to control me, and I would have probably, let her go a long time ago because I was living in misery. But I was able to, take control. I was able to tell her how the cow ate the cabbage. And I learned that she used to control me by making me mad, right? Mm-hmm. So she'd make me mad. I would yell at her. Then she'd play the victim, and she wouldn't talk to me for days on end. But what I realized was that by laying my weapons down, the argument would not happen. She would be mad at me, but for much shorter time, hours, and then she would come and apologize afterwards. So that's how I realized that he saved my marriage. But unfortunately, as the time went by, she kept testing me. And I didn't get angry. So she's been just escalating the amount of poking the bear. And this is, I think, just another one of those escalations. She thinks I'm going to beg her to stay. She thinks I'm going to, let her control me with this ultimatum. But she's wrong. So we haven't really done anything about it yet. She just walked out this morning.
That's
I'm not going to
ask. So no divorce has happened?
No, it hasn't happened. She says she wants it. This is funny. She says, oh, okay, well, I want a divorce, but because we had a Disney vacation planned this weekend, she said, let's go on one last family vacation, and then we're going to get divorced. And I told her, I ain't taking you on no damn vacation. Leave now.
She tried to keep the vacation in the package. She was negotiating.
Yeah.
So in this negotiation, you said, no, that's too far.
No, I said, I'm not going to sit in a car with somebody who doesn't want to be married to me, so you can go ahead and leave right now. And she did. And maybe she'll be back. And if she comes back, I'll let her back. I don't have a problem with that. I'm not leaving my house. Not leaving my house. Right. And I'm taking my kids. And if she wants to, try to get 50-50 custody, she can do that. And we can deal with that as it comes. But I just wanted to thank you and thank Jesse and everybody for making this this feeling that I have possible, which is the feeling of peace. I'm not sad. I'm not angry. I know it's not her. It's the evil spirit that lives inside her. And so I forgive her.
That is fascinating. Can you speak on why you'd let her back? Not saying you're right or wrong.
Because I don't want to get divorced. I'm happy. I'm able to suffer. Right? If she wants to, she's controlled by the devil. I am able to see my thoughts that are not me. She's unfortunately blind, and once you see, you can't unsee. Mm-hmm. And so I can see the evil in others, and I know it's not her, and I know it's not her fault. She literally can't help herself. She know not what she do. So she can just come back anytime she wants, and it's half her house. I'm not interested in getting divorced. I'll stay living with her until death do us part, because that's the vow I took to God. So if she wants to break it,
that she's mad and maybe even says I don't love you and all that. Just let her be crazy.
I know she does. I know she doesn't have love to give anyway. So why would I worry if she loves me or not?
That's fascinating, man. Just how you're handling it. And for my autism, if I may, when you said you were saying save my marriage, you were describing an earlier time when you were having difficulties with her, and you were able to overcome that. That was the saving your marriage, and you're internally, and then this came about after.
Right.
Okay.
This was the recent incident that happened today, but I still believe our marriage is saved because I know she's going to come crawling back to me, begging to come back home, and I'll let her back home. This is just a test. And if she doesn't and she wants to stay, that's fine too. I mean, if she wants to leave, that's fine too. And I'm not going to feel one way or another about it.
It sounds very interesting on how you handle it, man. And I don't think it's very common. And call it some of the tools. I hope that's an example of these tools and what Jesse's kind of talking about. That's pretty cool. I think it sounds pretty cool to me, I got to say. Because to me, I take it as you're not taking it too deep as what she's going through. Now I don't know what's really going on with you, and like if it's like fighting and all that. I really don't know, but it sounds like you're handling it well. It sounds like you're handling it well.
I'll let you know why she's mad. So it would have been one thing or another. She just happened to pick this one thing to control me on, which is that I like to go on TikTok Live, and I like to talk to people on TikTok Live, and she doesn't want me to be on TikTok Live. So she told me, are you going to be on TikTok Live? If so, I'm leaving. And I said, yeah, I'm going to be on TikTok Live. Go ahead, get out of here.
Why is that such an issue?
Right. That's what I say. And if it wasn't that, it would have been
I ask sincerely. I am a little cautious, not trying to pry that much, but I just can't imagine why someone would get so mad at that. Are you like on TikTok Live on the bed at night? She can't sleep, like, or
we don't even sleep in the same bed. I sleep in another room. She doesn't like the fact that I'm on TikTok Live.
Are you talking about the family? Are you talking like a bunch of like personal stuff?
No, I have a little TikTok Live where I talk about being a man, and I reiterate a lot of the things that Jesse taught me, and I'm helping other people in that way, those that want help. And it's thanks to Jesse that I'm even able to give this information out to other people.
Yeah, man. Well, it sounds like a little controlling from what you described.
Of course. And if it wasn't that, it would have been something else. So this is just the straw that she decided the hill she decided to die on.
Well, for one thing, it sounds like no matter what's happening, from what you describe your reaction, I think it's the right. I think no matter what's happening, as long as you react like that, you'll see the next thing to do. You'll see what should be done.
I'm not even thinking about what to do next. It's just happening. I'm living my life in the present.
Right on, man. That's super interesting, Carlos. I appreciate you showing support for Bond and it helping you like this. I'm wishing you well on your situation and help the. Well, I don't hope anything. Just wishing you well in your situation.
Right? I don't hope anything.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like you are. So what the heck am I doing that for?
I'm just seeking the kingdom.
Well, I gather you two shall make up soon enough, maybe.
I don't even.
Yeah.
That's something in the future that I'm not even thinking about.
Right out, Carlos. Hey, can you call me again?
Yeah, sure will. Thank you, Anchor Baby. Have a great one.
Yeah, wish you well, sir. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Hey, 888-775-3773. Take it one step at a time. Okay. When emotions are high, one step at a time. Slow it down. We got some super chats and all that. Let's see, what do we want to do? 888-775-3773. I want to see if I can wrap this up because I got some other links. I said what I said about Kimmel. Okay. Bill, I have an open-ended question of it. You can say nothing if you wish. Thoughts on using institutional power, so to speak. That might be a mischaracterization. But yeah, going after the left, going after political enemies. Some characterize Trump's actions against Antifa and the general vibe against Kimmel and none of the right saying, hey, but that's cancel culture. Why? Thoughts on using cancel culture on the left, if at all, any?
Nothing. I mean, they're basically getting what they were putting out. They're getting it back.
They're getting what they're putting out. That's an interesting point. Because the way I see, go on, please. Not too much since you're off mic, but go ahead.
8 or 10 years, okay.
Yeah. 8 to 10 years of them acting like that. Yeah. I see Trump trying to make things fair. I see Trump as right, making things fair, actually, undoing their injustice, their initial injustice.
Yeah.
Fair enough, sir. Fair enough. Appreciate it. All right, so let's get to these super chats and then more. Oh, yeah, I'm wrapping up Kimmel because I got some links. Jimmy Kimmel's suspension reverberates. It reverberates across. We're behind a paywall. Don't worry. We have ways. We have ways around the paywall. How are you going to keep the news from us? I'm joking. I appreciate you. I appreciate your monetization strategies. Is that a lie? Am I lying right now? Jimmy Kimmel's ABC suspension prompts outrage from celebrities. Now, what was it about this? It's Wanda Sykes at home in a full face of makeup. She was headed on an on-air chat with Jimmy Kimmel. Oh, okay, yeah. Did she post this? Let's see. Donald Trump didn't end the Ukraine war or solve Gaza within his first week, but he did end freedom of speech within his first year. That's Wanda Sykes. That's just complaints. Let me just complain. Did you even vote for Trump? Only if you voted, or at least supported him and then stopped supporting him, and now you have maybe some questions. But you're brilliant and well spoken. Maybe then you could say that, Wanda Sykes. But who the heck are you? Hey, for those of you who pray, it's like he didn't change the entire world. I know he spoke big, but that was for me. I know he spoke big, Wanda Sykes, about, and bringing peace and all that, first day and all that, but that was for me. That was for the people who want peace. Okay? He's leaving you in your hell. Okay? You don't want peace? I don't know what to tell you. He's like, oh, you didn't do it fast enough. Da, da, da. Change the whole world in days. Wanda Sykes, whatever. Call me biased. But I'm not, right? Call me biased, but Disney-owned network announced Wednesday that it was taking Jimmy Kimmel Live off the air indefinitely. Did not provide an explanation, followed the conservative backlash over his comments on Kirk. And they said they would be replacing his show Wednesday night. Fellow comedians, they're saying this isn't right. Ben Stiller. I'm horrified of the cancellation of Jimmy Kimmel. See, all of these people, this is how they act when it happens to you. This is how they act when something bad happens to you. To a conservative, this is how vicious, I'm just remembering I had this. This is how vicious they can be.
They have to make.
I think this is COVID.
Hospitals get any more overcrowded, they're going to have to make some very tough choices about who gets an ICU bed. That choice doesn't seem so tough to me. Vaccinated person having a heart attack? Yes, come right on in. We'll take care of you. Unvaccinated guy who gobbled horse goo? Rest in peace, Wheezy.
Just glee, just thrill, they're gonna die. Yeah, they should die. Oh my gosh, that's so hilarious and edgy. They should die, Jimmy Kimmel. I agree. That's what they're saying.
Bow ties with Tucker Carlson. After all, Fox News has severed bow ties with Tucker Carlson. After all these years, they are parting ways, which means he was fired. I mean, that's really what parting ways means. Tucker couldn't be reached for comment. He's already on a plane to Moscow to meet with his manager. But what a shock. I mean, what an absolutely delightful shock this is.
Enemies. Get him off the show. Yeah, get him fired.
No, Tucker.
I'm not saying they got him fired. The Fox fired him or whatever. But same glee.
Can spend more time at home tanning his testicles and touching himself to that sexy green M&M. Sadly, he's probably not done poisoning old people's
I'm putting him in jail over that one.
brains. The question now is, where will he do it next? Will he go to OAN? Will he go to Newsmax? Will he crawl back up Satan's
So you get it.
fire?
There you go. We're going to stop him right there. Jimmy Kimmel. Okay, that's enough out of you. You're going to jail. In my mind, okay, just in my mind, doesn't mean anything. Okay, you're in jail. A little bit more, wrap this up. That was those clips. Yeah, just more, just more people concerned over Trump and all that. A guy's really going to keep it on the up and up. I gather people have been able to speak more than ever. It really does coincide with Trump. It gets worse with Biden. It comes, I don't know about roaring. It seems like you could talk about a lot. Yeah, the company's still, there's terms of service. I know, racism, hate speech, but even all that has been loosened, I gather. I'm seeing all sorts of stuff on YouTube. It's like, it's a new YouTube. It's not totally loose. And then it's like, everyone's like, oh. I mean, there's all sorts of talk about Jews. I know I hear that's like a big no-no, but I hear it. I see it on YouTube. People call my show, and they call and they talk, and what do I say now? The thoughts, the views, and opinions of the callers, the clips, maybe even myself, don't represent JLP or Bond. So, anyways, what are y'all saying in the chat? What are y'all thinking? You guys thinking about this a little? Are you mulling over the concept of going after a political enemy? And where is that even happening? With Trump, is it really that? Because I seen some of that with the conservatives. Okay, they're like Trump turning into a. What did I say? I saw Trump going woke, going after free speech. Anybody perturbed? Give her a foot rub when you get back from work. Okay, some sage advice. Oh, we got some advice on maintaining the union is coming from my chat here. I think this was during my call with Carlos. On how to maintain the union. That is the union totally in love and it's like totally perfect? Not necessarily, but the union. At least the union was maintained. I don't know if it has to be, but I'm just saying. Some advice from the chat. Give her a foot rub when you get back from work. I thought the same thing, Reese's vids. So she didn't like you sitting up in bed, keeping her awake, yammering about being a man. Shocking, LOL. I didn't characterize her like that, but we got the info. I asked Reese. He wasn't in bed keeping her up. That wasn't the issue. It wasn't like it may have been the TikTok itself, the TikTok live itself. Who wants a spouse obsessed with TikTok? Who are you? What? So you married somebody to like control them? Like, what are you obsessed with? What are you wasting your time on? Okay, yeah, we can all get a little better, but what's with the judgment? Okay, what's with the judgment? Yeah, Ivana, thank you. Breaking up the family over TikTok, amazing. Where's the reason here? I have the same questions. Was he up on the bed yammering? I mean, we got that straight. It's maybe not that. It's not that, in fact, he said. Okay, that's amazing. Thank you, Modern Gentleman. Appreciate the super chat. Says Romans 8. We got a little Bible verse. Romans 8:28. And we know that for those who love God, all things work together for good, for those who are called according to his purpose. Let me know what that means. Buy her something nice, caller. I'm not telling you to take chat's advice. Amazing. Get off TikTok. I'm on the wife's side. Get off TikTok. Okay, folks. That's funny. All right, enough of that. Amazing. 888-775-3773. Bro, if my wife starts to stream on TikTok, I am forcing her to stop or it's a divorce. Look, I understand you. If my wife, let's say, for example, I'm married or something, and my wife is like, I'm going to start a podcast. Or I would tell her no. I'd advise against it, especially if we're busy. We got young children, what is it that you have? It's so important to say, oh, I just want to start a cooking thing. It's funny. It's all right. Maybe I'm willing to listen. I want to start a podcast about teaching the truth or just speaking the truth. All right, honey. I'm already my spidey senses going off. I'm thinking, no. That's really, no. What do you mean my wife, she's a married woman, we're a Christian, but my married wife wants to go around teach. That's already wrong. It already looks wrong. It's out of order. Well, what is my married wife with children want to so badly teach the truth? That doesn't make sense. So not happening. That being said, Nugget Man, what are you going to do? Let's say you find yourself in a marriage and all that. And she says, I want to anyways. I guess for me, that's where the what if stops. But because it's like, why go further than that? What will I do? I mean, because now it's like, you guys are going to hear me from this little side note and think I should divorce or I should stay with. I'm not making any claims. You got to be in your situation. But I think I accept. I can accept. I can't control someone and change them. Okay, and then from there, I don't know what else must happen. You should know it when you're in that situation. But I'll tell you this: I don't seem. It doesn't seem right. I don't see my wife starting a podcast telling the truth. That doesn't make sense to me. Yeah. I'm like, so where did my wife go? That's what I'd be thinking to myself. I'd be like, wow, where did my wife go? I don't have a marriage. I don't have a wife. But hey, right on. Wishing you well on your podcast. Nugget Man says she can stream, but as a divorced woman, let her take the action. Let it be. You're not judging her. You don't want to control her. You don't want to change her. You just like, and maybe it was unclear or something earlier. I don't know how clear you got to make things. I don't know how these things work. But, you had a marriage and you're like, okay, no, I don't see you podcasting. And let me just tell you, you got this idea. Let me just tell you straight up, I don't like it. And then you're letting it be. You're saying, I'm not going to operate in that. Okay, anyways, let's move on. Is that a YouTube title? Ivana's a genius. Maybe she should be a producer. Wife made me a sandwich. Parentheses, it sucks. People clicking on that. Okay. Mr. Pig, thank you. Let's see what else I want to do here. Oh, yeah, super chats. Very quick. Then we got more stuff, so we'll get to all that. So we got appreciate that, Aries. I appreciate that. Thanks for the support and the generosity. Very nice. That's Aries 1. Rumble, shout out to Rumble. Coming in strong. Couple coffees here. Buymeacoffee.com/anchor, baby. We appreciate them. We appreciate them all. Jermaine out of Canada. I think I read this one yesterday. Thanks for the coffee, though. We'll get into that. Maybe even tomorrow. We might even get into that tomorrow. We'll see if since it's relaxed on Fridays, we have the HQ in front of us. Although, the more distractions we add, the more terrible the landing. But it's okay. I mean, we got a show to run. So maybe we'll get into it tomorrow. iShow Speed, he sent in a coffee asking me to look into that. Very popular streamer and his relationship with his mother. I've seen some of that. And it totally speaks to what Jesse's been saying. Another one of those real life examples. Oh, Eric coming in strong with some coffees, man. Thank you. Buy me a coffee. A whole bunch of coffees here. A whole bunch of them from Eric. Says, Carlos, I think this is from today, just a moment ago. Carlos, seek what's right first. How's a woman going to follow you if you don't know where you're going? If you were truly on the path, she would recognize the truth in you. Take your eyes off her and look deeply within. Wait, hold on. Seek what's right first. There's some advice for Carlos, maybe. How's a woman going to follow you if you don't know where you're going? If you were truly on the path, she would recognize the truth in you. I don't think you have enough information to say that, Eric. I may have thought that, but we really, that's just a thought. I don't know if we know that. I don't know if we have that kind of information. Sometimes they're mad, and you're not responsible for the hell in somebody else. Take your eyes off of her and look deeply within. That's fine. That's great advice at all times. And that may even be happening here a little. Find stillness like you have never experienced. You think you're present, but you're far from it. I notice that's a very common thing. I notice that is the most common thing is people thinking they're present and thinking they got it or whatever. But just how deep it goes, understanding yourself can be a bit of a surprise. But yeah, I don't know if he even said. I don't know if he made any claim about being present. I don't remember. Eric, he goes on, it's not just about you not feeling anything about her leaving. It's about you seeking God first. You must do the silent prayer. I can hear the anger in you. That's Carlos. That's from Eric. Eric says he could hear the anger in you. Do you take that as if he's hitting it, if he's true or if he's not? I don't know. That's Eric saying what he believes. He goes on. Realize you know not what you do either. You have no love either. Slow down. Acknowledge you're possessed by anger. You're not in control. Anger is. Just because you say you're not angry doesn't mean you're not furious within. Be still and know God. Know you're possessed by the devil, and so is your wife. So thank you, Eric. With some coffees there. That's the chat. Chat is going. Chat is us going off. I think a little. Let's see here. So that's my coffees, man. Thank you, Eric, for that. Wishing Carlos well there. And maybe he'll tell us how this ends up. Cause yeah, what a mess, right? I mean, the lady seems to have she seems to be the one taking action and leaving or whatever. But where was I here? Look, thank you for the coffees, everybody. Buymeacoffee.com/anchorbaby. I can sense the conflict in you. Is that from something? Is that from Star Wars? I can sense the conflict in you. Search your feelings. Good one. Right on, okay, chat. Amazing. Let's keep it moving here. Oh, wait, sorry. I'm trying to check all the chats. Nice. Let's move it on. Okay. Kimmel, that's it with that. Check this out. Okay, I guess I had one more thing I was thinking of. As I'm pulling up this bank thing, following this theme here, political fights, going after political enemies, hypocrisy towards free speech, claims of such things. And me saying really what it matters, what it comes down to is really having a man in charge. Someone who just gets it, who knows to be tough, who can identify when to be tough. And it's just a little point to think. I'm just bringing that up to make a little point about, well, what the heck? What do we do after, right? What's the big strategy after Trump? Because you're still going to have the left and censorship and Kimmels, etc. People who are just very sneaky, saying, hey, they'll go into the shadows, say, hey, no, we don't hate or wish anyone harm. Meanwhile, they're quite happy to see to have that very thing happen. What do you do? What do you do? I don't know. I mean, folks, it's the what's the word? Unexciting, real way. The individual has to become competent. The individual male man in America has to become competent and get in these areas, these places in life, be an active person in life, whatever your talent is. Whatever your talent is supposed to be in the movies and where Jimmy Kimmel is, where the politics is, the banks race to prove they're not biased against conservatives It all seems pretty good to me, right? It's like, what? Some might be a little, right, disturbed like I described. Banks, I mean, private entities, I don't know. That doesn't sound very free speech. But it seems fine to me. I mean, this article, it starts off describing the story of this Steve Happ fellow. And it goes on a little bit at length describing his interaction with Bank of America. You know, he has some mission, an evangelical mission in Uganda. When he was told by Bank of America they're canceling his account, and he's worried. You know, he's had over $270,000 put away here for all this stuff. There's bills due for different things to do with the orphanages, for his organization that helps these orphanages and churches. You know, he goes down. He's in Memphis. He goes down. He asks about this, and they tell him. They repeat to him what the letters told him. We have determined you're operating in a business type we have chosen not to service. Pretty vague. He asked the people at Bank of America. They tell him the same thing. We determined you're operating a business we've chosen not to service. And so this Steve Happ fellow, he says it's because he accuses them of doing this because he's running a Christian business. And they go on to describe some of these accusations. They coming from the conservatives, etc., Trump even, a broad bias against their beliefs in society and business. And just starting there, is it really a mystery that you have to go that far to prove? Just look at how white people are hated, right, in their own country. So easily spoken about a Christianity, Jesus. Yeah, there's a broad backlash and bias, etc. Banks are now in the crosshairs. Many MAGA Republicans, Christian conservatives are shutting down personal business accounts. Their accounts are being shut down because they don't agree with them. Happ's story of debanking was amplified by a Christian law firm. You know, this article describes helping them to make this a bigger deal. Getting into Trump's ear even. In August, the president issued an executive order demanding an investigation into what the White House has termed politicized or unlawful debanking, with penalties for banks that have unfairly cut off customers for political or religious reasons. And you've heard some of this, no? Debanking. So the most famous debanking I know of is Nick Fuentes, this fellow. Okay, I'm familiar with that. I mean, that's basically his story, from what I know. He I don't know how this happened, but basically sorry, I don't know the details, but look, I gather the guy's speaking on his show and all that, and he finds himself unable to fly in planes, unable to bank with certain banks and payment providers. I even have an anecdotal account of a friend, someone I know, not allowed to bank with Chase, and I don't want to say too, not like I know that much, anyways. But I don't know the details. I did wonder to myself, to my buddy, it's like, what did you do to not? What did you even do to have them say that to you? Like, well, how did that happen? But anyways, where was I? It's just like I'm just expressing really just common individuals where it's seemingly this happened to. So debanking, I mean, just imagine that, how you operate in this. I mean, you essentially are cut out from society in a large way, or it's made very difficult. Should you be debanked? I mean, having I'm trying to think out loud here about particular aspects of our society that should you be left out of it, I mean, you would make operating in that society quite difficult. I mean, imagine just like banning someone from the internet. You can't be on, like, you just somehow were able to do that. You wouldn't be able to make accounts for stuff. Just, living, signing up for all sorts of things. I mean, getting a job maybe even. They require you in many places have some sort of account and an employee identification. Imagine not being not able to use payment processors, banks. I mean, you can have money. You can have money. No one's saying you can't have money. I mean, you'd be effectively cut off from society in a way. And that banks have been doing that. I mentioned a few names already. It's really correcting. It's correcting the actual the initial injustice, right? And it's like, from who is a good question? Just whatever. The left, everybody who saw Trump as an enemy, and everybody who supported Trump, and they saw all those as enemies too. Those people. So, anyways, yeah, they concluded they didn't want to work with Christian groups. Call it a changing tide. I don't know. Banks have long closed customers' accounts for financial or legal reasons, such as inefficient funds, fraud. In recent years, banks have increasingly refused to finance or have business relationships with certain industries as they sought to incorporate environmental and social criteria into their decision-making. I find it, I mean, I wonder, I hear every now and again, I hear about such and such bank or credit card company, right, facilitating some dark, terrible thing. But for some reason, in recent years, like this article describes, they're all sorts of interested in, hey, make sure you're not supporting that conservative, that racist, that conservative, or it's not even always like that radical. Something just even merely conservative thing. We don't want to get backlash here. We're a payment processor. We're a credit card company. We gotta make sure we're not, facilitating terrible things. Meanwhile, the global network, it's a global network, folks. This is huge. The world has changed. The world has changed with Interac and ACH, money moving, and the euro dollar. You're gonna tell me the global system is not being used for nefarious purposes, mafiosi, etc. They're like, hey, Charlie, Nick Fuentes, conservative influencers on we got to make sure we're not supporting, Trump and facilitating extremism. It's like, that's insane. Amazing. So what else? The banks. That's pretty much it on that. What can I say? Erica Kirk is on my mind as well. Erica Kirk. What do they got here? CNN's got a little video. I didn't see this earlier. Who is Erica Kirk? Well, CNN. I haven't seen this.
I love you so much.
I love you.
For 36-year-old Erica Kirk,
I literally won the jackpot with my husband.
Vice versa.
Her marriage, 31-year-old Charlie Kirk, became the center of her life with much.
What the H is going on? Did I just get CIA'd? Everything went black. Bill! All the screens are okay. We're back. Okay. I don't know who. I just screamed Bill. Everyone's like probably rushing here. No, we're fine. We're fine now. You're hearing beeping and connecting and disconnecting. I don't know. The CIA is jumping into. See, I'm not doing this. You hearing this? It'll stop. I'm sure. They don't want you to see this. They don't want you to see this Erica Kirk limited or no connectivity. Okay, that'll go away. I'm sure. They don't want you to see this Erica Kirk CNN video. We're about a 75K. No, but
Public.
I love you.
We're gonna watch this and get to calls and all that. We'll get to all that. But yeah, Erica Kirk, CEO of TP USA. Erica Kirk named CEO of Turning Point USA. Jesse called it. Jesse Lee Peterson freaking called it.
Full legendary.
Okay. It was freaky. I was like this watching her speech. I was like, no way.
Erica.
And it's true. She is inserting herself in a leadership position.
Love you.
For 36-year-old Erica Kirk.
I
I
literally.
want to get to all that. What can I say? I'm seeing some of my calls here waiting, though. Steve in Maryland, man. I appreciate your call. You're on the air. Hold on, Steven. Hold on. Don't go anywhere. Hold on, Steven. Go ahead, Steven. You're on the air.
Okay, I'd like to ask a question first, a couple of questions first,
Sure.
please.
Is this your first
I'd like
time?
to know. No.
Okay, well, welcome. Appreciate it.
Okay. What is an anchor baby?
Anchor baby. Let me give you how about a definite. An anchor baby is this child of usually illegals, and they have that child because having a child anchors them in their country of choice. I'm thinking of America in particular because they have the birthright citizenship scam. Basically, if you're pregnant and then your baby is born on American soil, that baby is an American citizen, and thus making it easier for the parents to stay.
So that means he's an anchor baby, the one that's born.
You said what?
So that makes him an anchor baby, the one that's born. He becomes an anchor baby.
Correct.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
so the children of foreigners, essentially. The children of foreigners. Now, illegals, too. I mean, you can stretch it, though, to foreigners. I mean, the birthright citizenship law, I don't think was ever meant to be used the way it is. So I really think it's fair to say, really, like the children of foreigners. But, that's what an anchor baby is. Have you never heard that term before?
Yeah, I heard it all the time on your show. I think I heard it on your show. I think they call you an anchor baby, right?
I call myself that. The American anchor baby.
Okay.
That's what I call myself. What's so funny?
Okay, and the second question is...
I don't get the joke. Let me in. Don't leave me out.
Well, you're the one that called yourself that.
Yeah.
Right?
The American anchor baby. I don't get the joke, though. I'm autistic. Help me.
Me either. I don't get the joke either.
Oh, so why were you laughing?
Well, this sounds funny.
Why were you laughing? What was the joke? You saying it's not funny? There's no joke.
No, there's no joke. I just laughed. That's all.
Oh, okay.
Ridiculous of it.
We got him, folks.
Okay,
and what's ridiculous about it?
To call somebody that an anchor baby? You don't think that's ridiculous?
And why is that ridiculous?
Of course it is.
We're not being very clear.
Okay, well, we'll move on then.
You don't want to answer my question?
I just told you.
We can move on. It's just weird, a little weird. You don't want to answer my question? Why don't you want to answer my question? It seems like a simple one.
I said it sounds ridiculous.
Yeah, what's ridiculous about it?
Do you know what ridiculous means?
I heard you say it's ridiculous. I'm asking you what's ridiculous about it. I'm familiar with the word ridiculous.
It's ridiculous of the matter. That's all. That's ridiculous. Call somebody an anchor baby was forced just because.
Is it ridiculous to call someone a black man?
I don't know. According to what they like.
If I were to meet a black person and I said, "Hey, you look like a black man," and I'm going to call you black man, would that be ridiculous?
No, you say you look like a black man. You're looking at him.
Okay. And so would it be ridiculous for me to call this individual a black man?
It'd be up to you.
But would you see it as ridiculous?
No, I wouldn't say anything about it.
Why
I ain't
not?
got nothing to do with it. I ain't got nothing to do with it.
We're breaking
what
it
you
down.
call somebody?
We're breaking
Whatever
it
you
down.
call somebody, it's on you.
No, but why would it not be ridiculous for me to call a black man a black man?
I don't know. You tell me.
I'm asking you.
No. Look like
Probably because he's black, right? I mean, why would it be ridiculous to call an anchor baby an anchor baby?
Because he ain't got an anchor hanging on him.
That's not what anchor baby means. It's not having an anchor hanging on me.
That's what it seems like, anchor baby. You must say anchor to something.
I don't see no anchors on me. Are you talking about these guns?
I don't know. You got guns on
Sorry,
you?
chat. I don't know about that. What?
Are we going to move on?
Okay. Thanks for being a good sport. What do you want to talk about?
Thank you. How much does it cost to have a cup of coffee with Jesse?
So wait, say that again about coffee with Jesse?
Yeah.
Could you repeat that, please?
How much does it cost to buy Jesse a cup of coffee?
I again missed the first part, but you said you wanted to buy Jesse a cup of coffee?
No, that's not what I said. I said, how much does it cost?
How much does it cost? A fine question.
To buy him a cup of coffee.
It should be, let me see. It should be like around $5, I believe. And you can buy him multiple coffees, depending on how much you want to support him. But it should be at buymeacoffee.com/JLP Talk.
Oh, okay. Well, he won't get my $5.
You said he won't?
No, he won't get my $5.
So you just inquired about how to donate coffees to Jesse, so you could say I ain't donating?
Nope, not donating.
So you just brought it up just to say that you don't want to donate?
I just want to see
That's
how
so
much.
petty, Stephen. How old are you?
88.
I'm impressed by your pettiness, and I shouldn't support it. I shouldn't find it humorous and comedic. It's probably a pretty terrible thing to be 88 and petty. But I'm impressed. Very immature, really, is the word I'm looking for. Yeah, it's just really immature. And I shouldn't be laughing.
How much is a cup
I ain't
of
donating.
coffee?
Wait, say that again?
That's immature to ask how much it costs to have buy me a cup of coffee?
It's kind of immature because you asked just so you could say, I'm not going to buy it for you. How much is a coffee for Jesse?
No, I just wanted to know, that's all.
I just want to know, that's all. You act like...
That's right, because he's a millionaire.
Let me say that. You just say random things. You just like saying random things. Slander. Let me just say random things.
No, that's not slander. That's not being slander. Call somebody a millionaire.
I personally don't know. Maybe he is. I don't know.
Okay.
In that,
right,
you know what I mean?
I'm done with that question.
Like he handled his life he maybe handled his life well all these years. I personally don't know.
Very good.
He's like he's not like showy or what I'm trying to say, like immature in that way.
I think he did great from where he's from.
You said what?
That's great from where he comes from.
Alabama?
His background.
Nice.
Off a plantation.
Right on.
Hardly no education.
So why are you so bitter about it?
He's
doing so well for himself. What are you so mad about?
That's right. I'm not mad.
You calling in specifically to ask the price of the coffee so you could specifically tell me I ain't donating.
No, I didn't actually say that. I said I wasn't going to buy him a cup. That's all I said.
All right. So wait, is that really all you called in about to ask about a cup of coffee? How much it costs a cup of coffee?
No. I said that's two things I just wanted to know. I was calling about the Charlie Kirk slaying.
Okay. Go ahead.
I just wondered. Well, first, let me get to the parties first. Let me go this way first. I think the Democrats and Republicans are two gangs. They just like the Crips and the Bloods. Or if you think of their colors, What color goes with the blood?
Red.
And what color is for the Republicans?
Blue.
Red state.
I mean, red
state.
Republicans. Blue
Yeah,
Democrats.
red state. Democrats are blue, right?
Republicans? Is that what you're really saying right now? You telling me are you really saying it's Democrips and Republicans?
What did you just say?
I'm asking. It sounds like this is what you're saying. You're saying it's not really. It's really Democrips and Republicans.
No, I said no Democrats. No.
Well, you didn't say
no.
that, but I'm giving you a term that you can maybe use.
No, I want to use that.
You don't want to use that. Democrats are like Democrips. It's pretty good. You don't want to use that.
No,
okay. I'm feeling a little. I took it a little personally. You don't want to use that, but you're. It's fine. You don't need to.
Yeah, I'm from Maryland. I don't know about the Crips and the Bloods. But I just
what makes you say that they're like gangs?
Because they got the same colors.
That's it?
Yep. And they fighting all the time, right? And what does the Democrats and Republicans do? Disagreeing all the time.
Uh-huh. True say.
And I was shocked to find out about this killer, well, this accused man of killing Kirk, Charlie Kirk.
Uh-huh.
I was surprised he came from a family that had a mother and a father.
That's true.
Which Jesse always holler about, if you don't have a father in the home, the kid is no good. Usually is no good, right?
You disagree with that?
Yeah, I disagree with it.
And your proof is because this guy had a mother and a father?
He came from a nice home, right?
So you don't believe at all that having a broken bring issues to
do.
You say what?
Some of them do.
Oh, so then you do agree.
Just like you found a man and a woman.
So you do agree.
They have broken families. I mean, their children messed up.
So you do agree.
Yeah, I agree. They messed up kids.
But you do agree that the broken
homes... And they got
homes,
a mother and a father.
Here's what I'm trying to describe this a little bit more for my viewers. I'm wondering if you see it, but let me describe this. Because you're saying, oh, Jesse's always talking about the broken homes and all that. This kid came from a home with a mother and a father. When I hear that, it sounds like you're trying to say that, it's not bad to be in a broken home. But then I ask you if it's bad, and you think to yourself, and you say, no, it can be bad. It can produce bad children. And so it's like you don't disagree. You just don't like Jesse. Don't you find that a little silly?
No, I'm just like Jesse. I said Jesse was great. Didn't I just say that?
But you had to go out of your way to disagree with Jesse about the broken homes. But in reality, you do agree that a broken home is a negative thing to be raised in.
Mm-hmm.
So was it a bad thing or a good thing to be raised in a broken home?
Doesn't matter. It's according to how you turn out in your environment. Yeah.
I forget about the details.
I'm really not from a broken home.
You said what?
But look at my situation. I came up with she wasn't single. She was married, right? My father went to war. He came back with one arm shot off and suffered with DTs, right?
Delirium tremens?
Yeah. He was shell-shocked, in other words. Anytime you make a loud noise around him, he'll
DTs.
jump,
Rapid onset of confusion caused by, you're saying, the shakes, basically. But this is from military stuff. This is from...
Yeah, he lived with us 5 years after he got home in 42. So he died in 47 in a rubber room.
You said in a rubber room?
Yeah.
Go on.
Because it got worse. So my mother brought up 3 children. I don't know if you call that a broken home or not. What do you call that?
It sounds like they weren't together, or did I miss that? Your
no,
father
is that a broken home?
Let me make sure I understood the details, though. Or were you saying that when you were young, your father was out of the home while you were young, and he was in a rubber room? Because you just said he died there. I don't know if that's just in his old age, or are you saying that your father was not with you when you were growing up?
he got old and he got ill. When he came back, he had the DTs, like I said.
Yeah.
It just gradually got worse. So we had to put him in the hospital about 2 or 3 years after he got home. About 45 or 46. I can't remember. Because I was about 7 or 8 years old then.
Would you say there was love growing up? The love in the home?
So there was love in the home.
Peace? Did they fight?
Peace? Who? My mother and father?
Yeah.
No.
They never fought.
No. Why would they fight?
No,
I
I'm
tell
just
you,
asking. I
drafted
didn't
into
give
the
you a reason. I'm
military in
just asking if they did.
1940. No. Well, I
Yeah,
don't
sounds
know.
like it doesn't sound
I was
like
born in-
a broken home.
I was
You'd have
born
to
in
know
30
that for yourself. You're asking me
I was born
if
in
it sounds like
37.
one.
Look, I was born in 37.
Okay.
So I was 3 years old when my father got drafted.
Mm-hmm.
When they came back, I was 5, 42. So I don't remember seeing him doing any fighting or carrying on before he went in the military. I didn't see him do any fighting when he got out the military. He only stayed home at home about 2 or 3 years after he got back from the military, because we had to put him in the Veterans Hospital because it got worse.
Interesting, man. What was that like growing up?
Well, I grew up with my mother and my aunt and my 2 uncles and my grandmother.
I understand. It sounds broken, I guess.
Okay.
You asked me if it
broken.
sounded broken or not. Again, that's something you would know. You
And
would know that. And I think you know that answer. I think you know that. I don't think you need to tell me. I'm not asking you to tell me. I'm just saying I think you know this. I think you know very well what I mean. And I think you know very well that you can be in a home with both parents and you could grow up quite confused and maybe even angry, scared. I think you know that very well. So what do you want to say about Charlie Kirk?
Oh, I was just saying that the guy that accused of shooting him came from a 2-parent home, first of all.
Uh-huh.
And some of the things that Charlie Kirk was complaining about was gangs and stuff, people going out killing people, So this one time he got killed by a person, something like that. But I still think that was conspiracy. I think it was 2 guys in on that.
And why think such a thing?
Well, how's this guy? He's only 22, right? He's accused of being 22.
Mm-hmm.
Then he told his friend to clear everything off his computer. Clear everything.
Okay.
So that means it's probably another member that was with him.
Maybe. I don't know. Oh, you say with him at the shooting?
Yeah, at the shooting.
Yeah, no evidence for that. Not that I've seen.
I think it was conspiracy.
Yeah, no evidence I've seen. Not even worth speculating that. Not that I've seen like that.
And another thing, too, that his parents was Republican, and he's a Republican.
You're saying the shooter's a Republican because his parents are Republican?
That's generally how it goes.
Not really. Since when?
I haven't seen yet. Do you think Charlie...
Are you seriously thinking that? Don't you know that Don't you know that children rebel against their parents?
No.
You don't know that. You don't know that children rebel against their parents, their conservative parents, and go against Christianity? You don't know that happens all the time?
No.
Oh, come on.
I didn't.
Now you're being ridiculous.
I have 4 of them. I got 4 of them. And mine does not go against Christianity.
None of your children rebelled against you?
No.
Not a single one of your children rebelled against you, Stephen?
No. I had a wife there to help me.
Uh-huh, but so...
And nobody rebelled against nobody in that house. Because there was military brats, first of all.
Uh-huh.
I was in the military for 30 years.
So they were traumatized.
I don't know about that.
They were traumatized by your Nazi wife?
Right? Yeah. I call her my Nazi wife because she was born in Germany.
I heard that before. I actually heard that one. So they were traumatized by your Nazi wife. She kept the order in the house?
Both of us.
Right on.
My
Anyways,
military training,
Stephen,
her being
I
a
don't know
German.
and what else can I say to you, sir? I mean, look, Charlie Kirk was killed by this deranged individual who was angry at the world, at his parents. To say he's a Republican is a little ridiculous if you know any of the details. He's living with a male.
Hey, why was
Wait,
this
I'm almost done.
Republican?
I'm almost done. Living with a male so-called trans lover, and wrote this anti-fascist stuff on the bullets that he shot. So I don't know where you're getting all that from. I'll leave it at that. And I'll ask you this though, Charlie Kirk, thoughts on his death?
Who said he was a transvestite and all that stuff? I didn't say
The
that.
news is, you can look that up, but the news is saying that he was living with a so-called trans lover allegedly and all that. So I don't find that very
Really?
right-wing Republican or anything like that. Thoughts on Charlie Kirk's death?
Oh. You taught me something today.
Yes, sir.
I didn't know.
Yeah. A little bit of info on what's coming out of this Tyler Robinson individual. But yeah, we've spent plenty of time here, Stephen. I got to move on. Please, thoughts on Charlie Kirk's death? A terrible thing shouldn't have happened. What do you think?
You think it shouldn't have happened? What did you say? Repeat that, please. I didn't hear you.
I'm asking what you think about it, about that assassination.
What I think about it?
Yeah.
I don't think nothing about it.
Do you think it's do you
I'm
think
not going to cry or anything like that. I'm sorry it happened, but it happened. I mean, how can I do about it? Same way you guys think about Martin
thoughts
Luther
on
King.
someone being killed over speech, over just trying to have an open debate and stuff? Thoughts on that?
Oh, what am I going to say? It happened.
You said what?
How you know he was killed over that?
Well, I mean, he wasn't attacking anybody. He wasn't
That's right.
hurting anybody. He was just having an open
That's right.
debate with people. And
That's
this individual, says.
That's right.
And so, so that's what I was asking you. What are if thoughts on an individual simply trying to have an open debate and for him being killed over it?
No, he shouldn't be killed over.
Fair enough. Right on, Stephen. Appreciate your call, man. Can you call me again?
Yeah, so anytime you're ready to ask a couple questions for me.
No, if you have a question for me, you can always call my show when I'm live, man. Appreciate your call, Stephen. Call me again.
Okay, you take it easy there.
Right on. 888-775-3773. Got more calls here. I want to get right to you. Let's get to Anthony SoCal. How you doing, sir? On the air.
Hey, Nick. I'm doing well, sir. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, sir. Loud and clear.
Awesome. Yeah, you got some really hot topics
this
week. But I want to circle back. Last time I called in, I was before I talk about this week's topics, I want to say 2 days after I called in, actually, remember how I called in about the Dearborn Police Department and their substantial Muslim population or minority.
Very well. Remember, yes.
Yeah, so it was 2 days after I called. They released a new police badge that they had to retract because of local outrage. Did you hear about that on the news?
I did.
Oh, okay, cool.
I in fact did hear. Yeah. I think Derek might have put that in Jesse's show.
Oh, he did. Okay.
Yeah, I think that may have been that way.
That's good to hear. Yeah.
And there were people complaining about it, right?
Yeah, exactly. It was a bunch of locals because it looked like a total terrorist emblem, or I shouldn't say terrorist. That's kind of whitewashed of me, but just a Arab, non-American emblem representing, American defense forces at the local level. Kind of inappropriate.
Totally. And
it
doesn't make any sense. Just be the police.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, made no sense. And one thing I want to say, I just want to, before I move on, I thought you threw the baby out with the bathwater, but maybe I misheard you. I think one of your other callers was talking about how you don't speak out against the Jews or something like that.
Today?
And No, it was last week. I'm just my memory goes in
no worries.
A certain order, so I just want to clear this up. But you were saying how I forgot who it was or what the dispute was, but it was basically the typical caller saying, "Oh, you take Jesse's side for."
Oh, I think I remember that. Yeah.
Whatever, yeah. And you were like, no, you know what? People calling, and so after you hung up, you're like, people calling for themselves. People calling about the Jews, the Muslims. They're just calling for themselves. And I know I'm probably one of your only callers because my family's from the Middle East that speaks aggressively against the Muslims. And so I just want to clear up my position. I don't necessarily call in for my own interest. My perspective is that certain Americans are a bit naive about the nature of Islam and the threat it poses to America. And out of me and my family's desire to preserve what's good in America, I was brought up in a way to kind of defend American values and speak out against threats that I think, are important. So it's not necessarily that I call in just to bag on Muslims the same way people call in a bag about Jews. I would say that there's one threat that's real and substantial, and one is just kind of an imaginary propaganda tool. And the Jews falls in the latter category, while I'd say the Muslims are a more tangible threat. So that's just all I want to clear up. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think I was following that, and that's fine. And and that's totally fine. People could call my show and I might press them to be clearer. I might press them to have some source or something here and all that. But I mean, people pretty much just kind of speak on that, and that doesn't really bother me. Whether it's about Muslims or Chinese or Jews or whatever, if it's clear and all that. You might be remembering a particular call, and that was a little bit more. That was a little bit different. It was more like I was just trying to describe that individual in particular. Did not want to. Someone who's saying, I'm forgetting exactly. No need to rehash, but it was something particular. Yeah. It really wasn't about, look, if you call my show and want to talk about Muslims, you just want to make it about you. You don't really care about talking to me. Look, really, the point is anybody calling in any show is just they have something they want to say, and that's fine. That's fine. That's how it's supposed to be. You don't have to make it about me like you care about me. But look, that was a particular thing, and I think we can move on from that.
I totally agree. Yeah. No,
thank you, Anthony. I think you made yourself clear too. Go ahead.
Excellent. So, dude, I just want to talk about, what was her name? Excuse my language, but it was the bimbo sounding lady that called in a few days ago about the she started the call off saying, "Oh, I'm from Utah. I wish I could do that bimbo accent. I wish I could do that accent. It was just ridiculous, dude. She was like, "I'm from Utah, and
I don't think of bimbo as like Utah. Like I don't know what I'm thinking. I'm thinking blonde. I'm thinking like California. Maybe I got that word wrong or something. But
no, the
I can't remember who you're talking about. But it sounds like maybe one of my lovely callers who I don't know what you mean, sir. But I don't know who you talk about, what you say, and what's happening with them personally. But she brought a big topic. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, she was saying it was the one that was like, "Oh, me and my husband went to L.A. to attend Bond," but she was just saying she started.
They even attend Bond? There's no bimbo.
Well, dude. I mean,
I guess maybe bimbos can attend Bond. I don't know. So please go ahead.
I don't think she attended Bond. I'm in my imagination about her about this, but I think she just lied about it. Because I don't think someone who is like that anti-Israel would go drive from Utah and watch Jesse, knowing his position on Israel. But maybe I'm wrong. I'm sure.
Yeah,
people go there for other reasons. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
he's a Nazi coon producer, which means he loves all people. That's how I take that. That just means he loves all people. But okay, please, on the topic, sir, get to it.
She was saying how she thought it was Israel, and you allowed her to name drop, which is bizarre. I don't know why, but she name dropped two of your competitors, and you let her say her spiel about how Israel is behind all these things.
Yeah, I kind of remember that. Yeah, she was making claims that she made claims that someone said that. I'm like, where are you getting that from? And she told me this reporting from Candace Owens and all that. And so she was telling me where she got that from, because she was making some intense claims about Israel. Israel said Charlie Kirk is not allowed to have Tucker Carlson on his show. I'm like, really? Where are you getting that from? She's like, the news, Candace. And she told me, I forget, she gave me like 2 sources. She's like, go look it up. And I look it up, and they literally did not say that. And so that's what happened with that. That's how I remember that. Please go on.
Yeah. So I just want to call in and kind of like say what I thought about this. And it kind of rides off of what Terry mentioned in Hake's earlier call about these militant transgenders that are like engaging in combat training for whatever purpose. If we put this in perspective, the recent shootings that have been happening, the mass shootings, have been done by these deranged, sick, unwell individuals that think they're someone they're not. And my problem with what that caller said was and you touched on this a bit, is it totally ignores the causality and the politics that's been going on in the United States for the past 10 years. I mean, did we forget that there's a political party here in the United States that wants to take your children away from you, let them change their sexual gender, give them, basically chemically castrate them, and then surgically change their sexual parts. And there's a whole party running off of that. And now you have the outcome of these things that are backed by the pharmaceutical companies and the insurance companies that are basically, you have these individuals who are the byproducts of that going out on the streets, getting guns and doing these insane engaging in this insane political violence. I mean, why do we have to ignore all the relevant issues that's been boiling up in our country and scapegoat Israel for it and draw all these dots with your little chalkboard, with your chalk on the concrete, like a kid, and just totally undermine the serious issue we have in our country? I mean, what's so difficult about just talking about that and facing these issues? You know, that's kind of where I was coming from when she said that. And it was just really troubling for me, honestly. It's not healthy, and it's like I said, it just undermines the real problems. But I mean, I don't know, Nick. What do you think?
I know where you're getting at. And essentially is what I was saying about what's the big mystery. Why try so hard to go to the mysterious, like fringe possibility, whatever, when we have some of the stuff staring us in the face, the derangement of our youth and what they're listening to and what they're believing, the lack of Christianity and the glee at someone's murder, and so that's kind of where I was coming at it from too, and it really undermines all sorts of credibility and stuff. Like when people speak like that out of turn, not having just kind of basic corroboration and just those kind of basics. What you end up seeing is you see someone who has an idea in their head and trying really hard to get this and that detail and fit it to their view. That's not someone you trust. That's not credible. It really hurts the credibility of any auxiliary topics involved with anything like that. So it's not anything good. It's not anything good to just say, oh, George Zinn, that guy, the old guy that was saying, so they shot Charlie. This old guy, and they said he was Jewish. I don't know if he is. Starts yelling, I shot him. And he admits that he did it because he wanted the shooter to get away. Like people saw that and they're like, oh, this is JFK. this is assassinations of Israel, blah blah blah. But it's like they're fitting it. They're trying so hard to make it fit when nothing else about it, there is any evidence for that. And anyways, and even the guys who are like on this, on like Jews and Jewish power and all the guy Fuentes, he's like, yeah, no, it's not Israel, guys. You guys are crazy. Now, I don't watch this show, but I saw a clip of him saying that. I mean, just because, because people calling me, telling me, hey, Nick, did you hear Fuentes say this? I'm like, now I got to. Anyways.
Yeah, well, what's interesting, 2 points I want to make out of that. First of all, while I respect the state of Israel for, the diplomatic, for the diplomacy with the United States, in that sense, something like this, first of all, it undermines any real credible threats that Israel may have to our country, because now if something, I'm just being hypothetical, if Israel does do anything that's suspicious, it will be all credibility will be gone because of it, because, people will just say, oh, you're blaming Israel again. It's like the boy who cried wolf.
All the women crying rape.
Yeah, dude. Pick your poison with that, The other issue is when it comes with that is you got to wonder if the fact that something, a tragedy like this, not only split the left and the right, but it split the right and the right in a sense where you have these people on the right blaming Israel and you have these people on the right saying, hey, let's face these real issues that we have in America. So you have to kind of wonder, like, where, is someone leveraging this anti-Israel rhetoric to further divide the Republican Party? And on top of that, why can't we accept that Charlie Kirk played a massive role in getting Donald Trump elected? And why can't we understand that whoever's out there that's looking at this, they don't want someone like Donald Trump elected again? Charlie was 31 years old. Dude, he could have seriously been a candidate. He could have maybe not a presidential candidate, he could have kept the momentum of what's right going. You know what I mean? And they just took him out.
That's an interesting statement.
Yeah, he was. So why are Republicans ignoring that and scapegoating Israel? I don't know, but it's pretty troubling because it shows how even the right could be controlled by narratives, which is isn't good. But I mean, do you think Kirk was in that kind of influential position to play a major role in constructive politics in the next 20, 30 years?
Well,
or is that
it's no question the institution. I mean, that's what everybody says, that Turning Point USA, what Charlie Kirk did, what he was doing and all that. Call it kingmaking in some respect. I mean, just who Turning Point could support, etc. I don't think it's not a crazy at all to say about this influence that Charlie Kirk had and all that. And this is a further interesting statement to me because earlier I was just saying it. I'm thinking, we need men in charge. We need men running things. And what's it going to look like beyond Trump? And I really didn't know Charlie. I didn't watch his stuff, and everything I've been seeing about him lately shows me I really didn't know him. And when hearing you say, hearing you ponder that Charlie could have been someone to keep that going, keep what's right going, I don't think that's unfair to say. Yeah, some can have their criticisms about being too nice or weak or this or that, but honestly, I mean, he hit it on a lot on so many things about the family and properly running your country. And yeah, I gotta say, the more and more I think about it, yeah, he could very well have been that, or a lot of that, etc.
Yeah, dude. I'm glad I wasn't in my own head about that, because that's kind of how I saw him. You see, he's truly running on, or he was acting out. So here's the thing, Nick. What I liked about Charlie was that, because I'm a similar age to him. So when TPUSA was starting off, I was in college. I was in the Republican club. I was in the Democratic club at the same time, trying to get both sides. And TPUSA was moving. And, dude, he embodied the individual that you want to be when you are speaking with people you heavily disagree with. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He was
Yeah.
polite, mature, collected, factual, very excellent speaker. And the fact that he was assassinated like that shows you that there is one side of the political spectrum we have that does not value that. That does not value American values. You know what I mean? They don't want that. They want fascism. They want authoritarianism. They want to silence their critics. And so it's just disappointing to see the right kind of go in this direction that's just counterintuitive to Charlie's underlying goal, I'd say.
Interesting, man. Yeah, well, that's some interesting commentary on this, Anthony. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no, my pleasure, Nick. Last thing I want to say, check out what Charlie said. Maybe you guys played this already, but check out what Charlie said. He was asked before, what do you say to people that blame Israel for everything? Have you seen that clip of him and his response?
I can't say I may have, but not remembering.
All right, dude. Check that out.
Nice.
Play it for your audience, please, because Charlie said he answered the question about all this Israel blaming stuff, and I agree 100% with his solution or his analysis of it. And
Nice.
It's exactly what Jesse said. It's a spiritual problem. That was Charlie's message.
Well, right on.
Anyways,
I'm going to check that out. I will do.
awesome, Nick. Appreciate your time,
Anthony,
sir.
call me
Thank
again,
you.
sir.
Will do. Have a great day, guys.
Zach, I want to get to you. That sounds like I really want to get to you, Zach. Oh, we just got no time here. We are at the end of the show. It doesn't look like a topic we can, we'll just speed through, sir. Zach, call me tomorrow, man. I hope to get to you tomorrow. And all my callers. Amazing. That's pretty much the show. We're done. We did the topics, the super chats, the callers, and everything. We got another. We got some coffee. Before we go, I want to make sure we get to all the coffees. For example, Rex. Appreciate that, man. The generosity over there on buymeacoffee.com/anchor, baby. It reads, Nick, you should let your beard grow out this winter. Love the show. Can't always tune in. I'm a truck driver. Interesting suggestion. I'll tell you this. I look very, I don't know, Semitic. I look very, Muslim or Jewish, or maybe to others, Cuban, like a Cuban revolutionary. My beard grows all I think it's thick, but it's also when we got some length to it, I start looking like a Cuban revolutionary. But I appreciate your coffee here. If he goes on, he says, "Why didn't Charlie Kirk have some bulletproof glass around him? Hindsight is 20/20, I guess. Maybe for future events." Yeah, I don't know. I saw celebrities after Charlie Kirk showing up to venues, walking around with people with crews holding bulletproof panels and stuff. And I don't know. It's just you just don't think of living like that, maybe, and maybe we shouldn't have to, but. Rex, I appreciate your support, though. Thank you for that. And that's all the super chats, I think. That's everybody. I'll see you tomorrow. More American Anchor, baby, tomorrow. Make sure you follow, like, subscribe, and all that so you don't miss tomorrow's show. Other than that, I must say goodbye. Farewell. All right, for real now. Peace.
The views, information, thoughts, and opinions expressed during this show are the individual's own and do not represent the views, thoughts, and opinions of the JLP Network or Bond. Their appearance on the program does not imply an endorsement of them or any entity they represent. The material and information presented here is for general information purposes only. The JLP Network and Bond name and all forms and abbreviations are the property of its owner, and its use does not imply endorsement of or opposition to any specific organization, product, or service.